Oh. Let's try this.
Hear you.
There we go.
You couldn't
I
hear
think
us?
somebody say something. There you go. Yes, I can hear you now.
Something.
Something. Yes. Thank you. That helps, Ben. Thank you very much.
That was. I miss what you did. I miss what you did.
He was just mouthing with nothing coming out. That's what he was doing.
Yeah.
That trick.
Yeah.
Jeff Gammett.
Oldest trick in the book, and he still did it.
How's it going?
It's going great that now that you're here.
It is going.
Chuck, I am so sorry I had to miss the show on Tuesday.
Oh, Jeff, how many times do I need to tell you? You got to do what you got to do. I know you got to.
You'll have to tell me every single time, because I'm going to feel bad every single time.
Yeah,
Please do not.
Don't, because you not saying underpants completely slips him up.
Tuesday was perfect. He just sat and waited and waited and waited.
Nothing happened. So then I tried to
going.
jump into the show, and I still was off. It's like,
That just warms my heart.
You've got other responsibilities, and that's exactly where your priorities should be. So
yes,
I applaud you.
And I take it that you did appreciate the picture I sent you today.
I finally got brave enough to open up the email. Yeah. I just got to figure out now what I'm going to do with it.
No, I can appreciate that. I mean, do you print and frame?
No, but I think I need to. I need to get someone who's a little bit better with, like an Apple Pencil or something than I am, to put JG on it, so we're clear as to whose they are.
Oh, I can fix that for you.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Oh, lordy.
Let me get the show notes up here.
There's lots of them.
I have a question for the three of you. And Ben, I know this is a repeat question for you since you heard it this morning. Are either of you using, or do you have a recommendation for an email archiver app for the Mac?
Still no.
I saw your post. I do not.
I don't either.
Jeff, is it just there's one? I'll do one caveat. You don't use Gmail, do you?
I don't. Well, I have a Gmail account, but I don't care about whether or not anything in that gets archived. Okay. So here's my objective, because I know I could just like archive shit in we're live, aren't we? Well,
yes. It's pre-show.
Okay. Well, maybe the amazing viewers have an idea, but here's what I'm trying to accomplish. I have a stupid amount of email that I realize is just taking up a massive amount of space and making my mail database ridiculously large. It's stuff that I don't want to actually delete, because there's like stuff, like family stuff, that I want to make sure that doesn't get lost. There's business information and all this stuff that the likelihood that I need to reference it at any given time is extremely low. But when I do need to, boy, I need to, and I want to do it right now. So what I want is to get all of that stuff out of mail into a separate database. And then, of course, I'll continue to throw old stuff into that over time. And then I have a place that I can search independently of the content that's actually in mail.
Jeff, I can think of two ideas, and then you can do with them what you will. And one of them, I have no idea how you would do it, so you might have to contact them. But there might be a way to suck it all into DevonThink.
That's a possibility. Possibly.
And if you could, then you've got their amazing search capabilities.
Yeah. Okay. So I need to look at that too. So there's 3 apps that I have found that that all have potential. Mail steward, which I know has been around for a long time, and then mail archiver, which I think has been around for a long time, and then Eagle Finder, which I didn't even know about, but it has to have been around for a long time because I actually discovered this through someone responding on Mastodon. But Eagle Finder, it's from C Command, the people that do spam sieve.
Okay.
So anyhow, I have three actual or three tools that are designed specifically for what I want to do that I can potentially check out. But the idea of something like Devon Think, I mean, that has some merit too.
You might want to, just for the fun of it, touch base with Joe Kissel. Because if memory serves, he's either working on or has finished an update to his book. But bottom line is he knows Devon Think inside and out.
Mm-hmm.
And if he can't get the answer, he can connect you with the right people inside to figure it out.
Yeah, I was going to say something similar with John Vitici.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah, if anybody knows apps, it's those two.
Yep. I should
Yeah.
also ask Glenn, because Glenn has been deep into all of this forever as well.
Glenn is deep into everything forever. I don't know how he does it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
If you ask about blueberry muffins, he can give you a college course on it. It's amazing.
Glenn,
Yeah.
Glenn is one of those people where if you didn't know him, you would not believe that someone could have as much information available instantly as he does without looking anything up.
Yeah, it's no wonder that he won at Jeopardy. I mean, and I know he'll tell you he's not in the same class as like Ken Jennings and all, but I don't know.
Glenn knows his shit.
Yeah.
Everybody find the show notes. So let's see one.
Oh, show
Yes, sir.
notes.
Yeah.
Yes. Wait, episode 273.
I put it in
Yep,
the chat.
273.
I
Let me
got
see.
the show notes.
I only see 2 people in there.
Yep.
David, I'm going to tell you now that if you bring up this whole list of betas, I'm going to crawl through the screen and strangle you.
You know what?
I want to see that.
I Chuck, I mean, I believe in your skill set, but I think Dave will surprise you and he will take you down.
I don't know.
I don't
Just
know.
like-
Chuck might have a particular set of skills.
I don't
He
know.
might.
Just beta. Can't we we're just a couple of days after the release of
No,
Sonoma.
it's important to our listeners. They have to at least know.
Oh, okay.
I
all
won't
right,
get.
well,
I won't dwell on it.
All right. Though.
I might, just to annoy Chuck.
I have the utmost faith in you,
Jeff, I
Jeff.
love you.
Thank you.
Mm.
All right,
Yeah,
I
speaking of annoying Chuck, I don't know if you read in the BTN chat room, but I found a D. Snyder wig for you.
Yep.
That'd be something interesting to see.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, I guess I was out of college. It was like 7 or 8 years out after college when my dad used to have we had a female mannequin in the shop. And so one day I took her wig off and put it on and put a pair of sunglasses on, and I do look ridiculous. They did capture it for posterity, so there is a picture somewhere that I am not
Yeah.
going to share because
Yeah.
I wouldn't trust it with you guys.
Let's hope Cindy doesn't
That's
have it.
fair.
Yeah,
Yes,
we
yes.
can get the Jeff
Maybe-
Gamet. I'm not going to take it. Number.
Maybe I should send Cindy a message.
She doesn't have you can. She doesn't have access to it.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
but she's half of Team Cindy,
That is true.
and the two of them together are a force to be reckoned with.
Oh, yeah, separately or together. Yes, they are. Yeah.
All right, are we ready to go? Because I am.
Hey,
Let's do-
Chuck.
Might as
Underpants.
well. You're the one driving.
I feel better now. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, Here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2. Welcome to episode 273 of In Touch with iOS, the show that talks about iPhone, iPad, Apple Watch, Apple TV, and related technologies. I am your host, Dave Ginsburg, and Chuck Joyner, he's back. It's 2 weeks in a row. Glad to have you back, Chuck. How you doing?
Hey, I'm great, David. Thank you so much for having me. And if you can't find anybody else, I show up. I always appreciate any time that I'm invited.
This was our intended visit this week, but you had to fill in for this guy, Jeff Gamet. But I really appreciate you being here. Hi, Jeff. I'm glad you're back. How you doing?
I'm glad to be back, and I'm bummed that I missed last week. I'm glad though that that Chuck was able to fill in.
Yes,
so
we had a really good show.
So you still had a quality show,
We
or
did,
you
yes.
probably. I guess it'd just be better to say. So you had a quality show.
Yes.
I just feel the need to say that no matter what I do, I'll never be able to fill Jeff's underpants.
Well, Chuck, have you tried?
Whoa.
Oh,
I'm
you
not going any farther. That's where I'm going to stop.
Hold on, I have to draw a diagram of this. Don't worry, this will only take me a minute.
won't. Last but certainly not least, Ben Rathick. So glad to have you here. How you doing, Ben?
I'm doing great. Ready to talk a little bit about Mac betas on a Thursday night, right?
Absolutely.
Ready, Chuck?
Beta. We do have a lot of news to talk about. This was quite a busy week, so there's been lots of discussion, and I have like overflow of notes that won't be talked about tonight, but you'll definitely hear about it at a future time. But yes, we will have to talk about beta just a little bit because we got a new release just hot in the heels of iOS 17 being released. Chuck and I both have our new iPhone 15 Pro Max, and we're going to give us our first impressions and some of the other fun things. But hey, there's going to be a lot more fun, so I'm going to just jump right into the news for this week. And the first one I had to lead off with is this fine woven iPhone case. The new fine woven case is they're very bad. That's what The Verge says here. What you've heard so far is true. Apple's new fine woven iPhone case and accessories are bad, like really bad. They've been puzzled over them for the last week, looking at it from different angles. They really look like they get scratched. They're marred up, and you don't even have more than a week. And they're charging $60 for some of these cases. But I've never been a fan of the iPhone, the Apple's cases. I've given up on them many years ago. I'm not surprised. Chuck, what's your thoughts on this case? I don't think I would buy it.
Dave, it's funny you said that. I'm not sure I've ever owned an Apple iPhone case.
Yeah.
Maybe for the first one, way back when we were just getting them, but I do not. I don't. I've always looked for the third-party ones, not just because they're more affordable, but also they offer greater variety and different options, and sometimes completely different feature sets.
Yep.
That said, I have not had my hands on a fine woven case, so I'm a little hamstrung here. But it's a fabric case. It's fabric. So if you are going to, spill stuff on it, if you're going to rake your fingernails across it, I think there's a real good chance that it's going to mark it. And the fact that anybody is surprised by this surprises me.
Yeah.
So I think the question is going to be in 3 months, 6 months after use, are these going to just be showing their age like a leather case would, and because it's leather, you accept it, or are they going to be fraying? I'm not as impressed by the marking. The question in my mind is, will this micro twill, luxurious micro twill?
It is luxurious.
Will it
Fine
start to
Corinthian
fray?
leather.
Yeah. Will it start to fray? And then if that's the case, then it's a failure. Otherwise, I kind of feel like it might be a bit of a failure on the part of the people having the expectations.
Yeah. Ben, did you ever own Apple cases? I mean, I can't.
I'm trying to think, but I've owned iPhones now since the 3GS, so I don't remember.
No, yeah, I go that far back too. I think I had the 3G.
Yeah, but on the ride home today, I was listening to Upgrade with Jason Snell and Mike Hurley, and I kind of agree with what they said. when trying to come up with this replacement for leather called fine woven, the team probably looked at the price points and the profit margin for Apple, and maybe didn't think about kind of the consumer side of it.
Yeah.
Because this is not the same quality of case as the leather. I don't know if it's more expensive to produce or what, but yeah, you have a not very durable material. You have reports of manufacturing defects in the case shell itself. That's not what I would expect from Apple. That's like what I would expect from like a freaking Dell phone or something.
Yeah, exactly. But Jeff, I know you have thoughts.
I don't know why you'd think that. All right. So with this case, I haven't seen it in person yet, but I have seen lots of photos online and several from the floor models in Apple stores, and they just have like scratch marks all up and down the back, and it looks like people were just going up to the case and doing like this to it, like they were a cat and just scratching it, which to me is not a natural thing to expect people to be doing in the real world with these cases.
True.
So I don't think that's a fair representation of the quality of the case right there. However, if it's not durable enough to stand up under use in a store as a floor model, is it going to hold up over time for individual users, throwing them into bags, dropping them, throwing them into pockets with keys or change or whatever? I don't know. And part of the reason for Apple switching was because they're trying to do something that's more environmentally friendly. And that's the part that I'm really questioning. Is this actually more environmentally friendly than making a leather case? Because so much of this case is built out of petroleum-based products.
Yeah. Not only that, but if they have a huge backlog of this stuff because it's a terrible product, that's not good for the environment either.
Yeah. It's my feeling is what Apple should have done, knowing what we know now, which is they're doing this fine woven case thing. They
Yep.
should have made hemp cases. And I am not kidding. I really think they could have come up with something really, really solid. And hemp is incredibly durable. There's a reason why hemp has historically been used for ropes. So super durable. It can be really soft when you need it to be. And it seems to me like the perfect material for something like this. So Apple, maybe next year, you can give us some hemp cases.
But
Yeah, absolutely.
the thing about hemp, it may not be illegal in all jurisdictions.
Well, there is that, but it hasn't stopped Apple from releasing products that aren't available around the world. So they could make a hemp case and then release it wherever it is allowed, and then let the rest of the market worry about sneaking them in where it isn't.
Actually, I was going to ask that question, Ben, so thank you. Because not being a hemp aficionado, if there's a hemp that can be used for rope, then can it be used across the board? And I realize that a rope is not exactly it's not something you want to necessarily hold in your hand for a long time. So maybe it's a different type of hemp or different weave or different process. Or whatever,
it's about
I
the
don't know.
weave, really.
Okay.
And if you ever have the opportunity to feel hemp clothing, you wonder why we thought making clothing out of cotton was such a good idea, because the hemp clothing is softer and it's much more durable.
But I would like to see a third party tackle this if they're
Guess
if
what
they're
I'm
already
about to
not.
Google.
Well, while you're Googling that, let's move on to the next story here. The demand for iPhone 15 has been stronger than the iPhone 14. Pro models are about the same. So this was actually written from Apple Insider from our friend Andrew Orr. Good to see him. Got some good articles here. The iPhone 15 series has shown some interesting trends regarding wait times, and new data indicates that the new Pro versions are as popular as the 14 Pro lineup. In a note to investors that track iPhone availability effectively worldwide, from UBS Evidence Lab that was they received that information. There's some different trends here. Several days after post-launch, data showed that wait times were, for the low-end 15 models, are longer than 2022. But on the other hand, the waits for Pro models have been slightly shortened. But that doesn't make sense to me, because I use this app and look, and I also look in other articles here that the demand is very high, because I went to Apple's website to see, hey, let me go buy an iPhone 15 Pro Max and see what the availability is. It's going on to almost mid to late November at this point, and
Wow.
we're at the end of September here. So, and then you go look at the 15 and the 15 Plus, no problem. You can get the one next day. So, I think the Pro and the Pro Max really showed that they were very, very popular. What do you think, Jeff?
Yes, but what's the possibility that this is actually a component issue,
Could be.
and what appears to be stronger demand? I mean, I think it actually is stronger demand, but it doesn't rule out the possibility that some of the components that are exclusive to the Pro line are less available.
No, possible. Very possible. What do you think, Chuck?
Sort of echoing what Jeff said, you have to wonder if there are supply chain issues, there are component availability issues. It just goes back to the same old thing, though. I think if you are set on having an iPhone Pro or Pro Max, you're probably not going to buy an iPhone, regular iPhone or a regular iPhone Max. Say that right? Yeah. And you're definitely not going to go and get an Android phone. I'm sorry, that's science fiction.
Oh,
So, it doesn't mean Apple shouldn't strive to try to deliver things and improve the supply chains, improve their predictions, but it's still an awfully nice problem to have. And I think it's being pumped up by the media as this negative, when in fact it really shows the strength of things, especially the appetite for the upper end, and that which equals more expensive phone.
Yeah. How about you, Ben?
Personally, I'm not surprised. There's probably a lot of people like me who are sitting on a 12 Pro Max that it was still too good to upgrade last year. But there's enough in the 15 Pro Max, especially with the lighter case, that it might be enough to draw what has been an excellent phone for 3 years out of our hands.
Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next story here. iCloud's the website to get to iCloud.com was updated with all the OS updates that came out this past week, including Sonoma, which was released actually Monday or Tuesday as we record this. So alongside the launch of all three of the major OSs, iOS 17, iPadOS 17, and macOS Sonoma, Apple did update its iCloud website with design changes and some of the new features that came along in the software updates. Apple says that the iCloud homepage is now customizable, with options for specific folders for notes, a specific mailbox from the Mail app, favorite photos, and more. Tiles are now interactive, so you can also do things like mark a reminder as complete, archive email, and all kinds of stuff. They really have just made some really vast improvements. Links in the show notes, of course, of the article. I won't go through everything that they did, but looks like they've really done a really good job of revamping this site and making it even more user friendly. What do you think, Ben?
Absolutely. It's always good for the user if the site reaches feature parity with the OSs.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a Mac user who has to use iCloud.com in a Windows environment.
Yeah, Windows for sure. Yep.
Mhm.
How about you, Jeff?
I rarely use the iCloud website, but when I do, every time there's something new and improved. So I'm glad that Apple continues to iterate and improve this. I have a
Absolutely.
question though for all of you. Since I
42.
haven't up that, thank you. There we go. Now we can move on. No, since and I know this is iOS, not Mac OS show. I have
No,
not
it's all
updated
good.
to Mac OS Wine Country this week because
Right.
I need Mail Suite for Apple Mail to work, and that doesn't in Sonoma. It's Apple's fault, not anyone else's.
Right.
But one of the things that's was supposed to happen when you update to iOS 17 and Sonoma is that your Apple ID automatically switches over to using a passkey, and or at least getting a passkey assigned to it. Have any of you seen that on any of your devices?
No.
Nope. I had to
So
do
I
it
wonder what's
manually.
up with that.
Yeah.
I have not upgraded, so I obviously haven't seen it.
Yep. And I've upgraded Sonoma on some machines. That's not my primary machine though.
So I wonder if it waits until your primary machine is updated, or if they didn't actually do it, or if it's a thing that was set up and then we're just not being told about it. But I mean, I would like to experience using Apple's passkey system on my iPhone just to see how it works. Even though I'm a 1Password user, this would be a
Right.
great way to try that out.
I can tell you this, it works great with other sites.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I used it with PayPal the other day. It worked great.
Cool.
How about you, Chuck? What do you think of the site?
I think Jeff said it well and Ben did too. I'm not sure it's realistic to say that the moment they flip the Sonoma switch that everything has feature parity, but getting it up to feature parity as quickly as possible is a good thing, and it's sort of what you would expect from Apple, because you don't want to be thinking about one feature set. Most people don't want to be thinking about one feature set here, one feature set there. They want parity across the board. So I love the idea that Apple seems to be leading iOS and iPad OS. They seem to be the first ones out, followed by Mac OS, and then maybe with the site. But it's something that is an expectation I think we should have.
Can I rant for a minute?
Of course.
Ran away.
Thank you. And Chuck, you reminded me about this problem that that's triggering me to rant. Okay, so with iOS 17 and macOS Wine Country, we have the option of saying S lady or hey S lady, right?
Right. Yep.
In theory.
Either let us do it everywhere or don't let us do it until we can actually make it work everywhere. It is ridiculous that on my iPhone, I can say, S lady, do this, but on my HomePod, I can't. Still have to say,
We go
hey,
with the
S
HomePod.
lady. And, or if I'm using it on my Mac, I have to say, hey, S lady. If I put my AirPods in connected to my iPhone, I have to switch to hey, S lady, because the only place it's working as just S lady is when you talk directly to your iPhone or your iPad. Why?
But
Either give us the consistent user experience or don't turn it on.
yeah. Well,
Holy forking shirt balls.
You can change it to make it back to hey. So,
well, that's true. But still, the point is, Apple says, here's this thing you can do. Yeah. Well, except here or here. But if you do this, then you have to switch to the other way. This is a user interface experience, not Fizzbin.
Yeah.
So Jeff, to argue the point just for the fun of it, is there anything in the, no, I guess this is OS. So there's nothing in the chipset that would prohibit the change.
Right. Yeah. It's just a software change.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
All right. Thank you for letting me rant.
Always. A couple more stories here, both app related. The first one is iPhone users now get even more browser options with now Vivaldi has been released for iOS and iPadOS. It was on the Mac for quite a while, but the wait's finally over. For those who are using in the Mac OS who adopted Vivaldi as your desktop browser of choice, the mobile version is now available. But why does this matter? It's flexibility. Part of the problem with Safari is it demands you to do things Apple's way, and to that end, it's terribly capable of the personalization and customization department, where Vivaldi comes into play. I haven't spent a lot of time with Vivaldi, but I'm liking the fact that there is another choice, because you're down to all the no browsers we've all talked about. But I'm glad to see that they released this on iOS and iPadOS. What's your thoughts on this, Jeff?
Sure. Me? I'm sorry.
Oh, Jeff, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Jeff. Yeah, Jeff, go.
No, I get it. It's so easy to mix this up, Chuck. I mean, stunning looks, glasses, names that sound almost exactly the same. It's great wardrobe. Oh, wait, I'm describing you, not me.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. I am so glad Vivaldi is finally on iOS. I like people being able to have options for their web browsers. Well, for all the apps that they need to use. And Vivaldi is a good web browser. So bringing it to iOS, good. I wish it would have happened sooner, but I totally get that coding a browser for iOS is not the same as coding a browser for Mac or Windows.
Go ahead, Chuck.
Jeff said it all. Just choice, preference. Why do some people like Opera? Why do some people use Edge? Why do some people, use? Let's see, what else is there out there? I guess
Opera,
Firefox, of course.
Firefox.
Yeah, I mean
Arc.
there are a lot of
Arc.
there are a lot of choices. I know I personally like to have certain things in one browser, mainly for work, because that browser has been logged in through the authentication.
Right.
And so that's where I want to open everything for work, because it goes through that security process. But then I have things I want to do outside of that for me. So I tend to have at least two browsers open on my system at any given moment. That's just the way I like it. Doesn't mean it's right. It also means you can have two sets of bookmarks, and I know there are going to be people that say, well, bookmark manager, or there are a dozen different ways to manage it. Yeah, absolutely. But it's just as simple, if not simpler, for me to say, okay, this stuff is going to be done in this browser. This stuff is going to be done in that browser.
Yeah. Anything to add, Ben?
Not really. It's just a great thing that there's more choice,
Yeah, for sure.
especially if you already use the desktop browser.
I like collecting browsers, so I've got my little folder on my iPhone that has, Firefox has the private browsing version, and I got Firefox, and I got all the ones you get to have and get to see the experience, and you pick which ones you like. So
Browsers are Dave's Pokemon.
they are. That's good. That's a good analogy. I like that.
Along with iPods, cables, Mac models, see what else. Batteries,
I have docking stations.
Docking stations, yes. He's got a lot of Pokemons.
Drive closures, all kinds of stuff here.
I have a totally off topic thing, because apparently I am totally out of control tonight. I just got a public safety alert on my iPhone, and I have my iPhone just in regular mute mode, not D&D mode. And I didn't get any alert sounds with it.
Yeah.
Is that a new thing in iOS 17?
I hope not.
Hope not.
Because there it is. There's my public safety alert.
Yep.
And the only reason I know it came in is because I watched my screen light up.
Yeah.
and I saw the little alert triangle, and
Weird.
yeah, no
So
sound.
No, you're
Yeah,
not
it-
15. Never mind. Never mind. That's right.
Yeah, he's on 13.
Yeah, I was
if
going to
that's
ask if you'd maybe bump the button, but you don't have a button to bump.
No, I do, because I'm on a 12 Pro,
Or 12 Pro, that's right.
and
Yeah, but I meant the new button, Jeff, not the. I mean, I know the old
oh, right, yeah,
That thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, the button that I don't think I'm going to like that much.
Last article here. Apple has released new versions of iMovie and Clips, the Clips app that updates for iPhone 15 Pro support. It delivered those updates actually today as we record this, and it does come with some bug fixes. Like I said, the 15 Pro support and Final Cut Pro for iPad support. And iMovie 3.02 comes with support for the iPhone 15 Pro. Log video recordings, which gives more flexibility and range for color grading and visual effects. So it also allows users to import iMovie projects into Final Cut Pro for iPad to get access to it into its advanced features. So good to see they're keeping it going here. I kind of forgot about Clips. I don't know about you guys, but Clips is a good quickie way of doing a video edit. Do you use Clips still, Ben?
the biggest news here is that Clips still exists.
That's what I was gonna say. Exactly. That's why I was just waiting for you to say that.
Yeah, it was one of those things that it was fun to play with when it first came out,
Mhm.
but since it got kind of boring real quick.
But we're not the market for that app.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
so
know,
no, it's the novice who wants to play, but the thing is, a lot of these novices don't even know about it. So
well, there must be enough people who know about it and are using it that it warrants getting updates still, because Apple is ruthless about axing stuff.
true.
So all I can figure is that there is a large enough subset of users that are taking advantage of Clips and probably using it to generate content for their social media accounts, like popping stuff up on TikTok or Instagram.
Jeff, I was thinking exactly that. And the other thing too, though, is it's one more entree into video, as opposed to trying to figure out what it can be a fun little thing, as opposed to pulling out the phone and setting up the video mode and trying to figure out what you're going to do. It's just do this, and this is what you get. And I think that holds a lot of appeal for folks who just want to play with it. And I know kids are a lot more sophisticated at a much earlier age now, but still what I see kids doing with video is amazing. They got to start somewhere. Clips would be a logical place for them to start.
And it's free.
And it's free.
This is true. So is iMovie for that fact.
Yeah, and it's okay that for us, it was the thing we tried out and quickly got bored with. We're not the people that are going to be using it.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to the topics this week. First off, let's start with iOS 17. We reported last week, last week's show, that the iOS 17.0.1 was released for the iPhone. That was a big 0-day vulnerability that had to be patched, so it was super important you got that installed. But then there was the problem with the iPhone 15 that it had the problem with being able to download files between your old to your new using the copy from your device method, and was crashing iPhone 15. So they had some happy people. So they got this patched pretty quickly, and it was 17.0.2. Well, this week now they've now made 17.0.2 available for all iPhones that are running iOS 17. So be sure you go and update that, keep it current. Those there should be some security updates in there as well. And please go ahead and get that up to date. No excuse there. You got to keep it protected. So that's definitely with these very, very serious vulnerabilities. Quickly go through beta here. Beta is not even a week after iOS 17 came out. There's now iOS 17.1 beta 1, and they seeded it to developers, and then the next day they seeded it out to the public beta. So it's available pretty much to everything here. Not much known of what has been released. There's not included, of course, is the journal app, which they're still waiting for, the collaborative music playlists, and the option to be able to do airdrop transfers over the internet, and the ability to use stickers in a tap back reaction in the messages app. So there's a couple minor changes. So it's definitely going to be adding some of the features. That's why they do these betas, so we can get some of those features that we're missing here. So don't check that out, because you don't want to put it on your primary device. Okay, you got to have
Right.
now.
Do not be me. Do not be me.
I'm going to
I have
admit
a
something
comment
here in
on
a
the
minute.
betas.
Yeah, go ahead.
Chuck, what's that look for? You just gave me a look.
No, I just,
Because he hates
All right.
talking about beta. I know.
Here, okay. Oh, I really missed hanging out with all of you. Okay,
Well, you're here.
so I've seen lots of comments online about can't believe that Apple's already having to drop a beta of iOS
was planned.
17.1 because iOS 17.0 and then 0.01 and 0.02 were just released. Come on, people. Seriously, Apple has been testing internally 17.1 for a while now.
Absolutely.
They did a feature freeze and then a code freeze on iOS 17.0 a long time ago. So
Yeah.
the fact that we're getting this 0.1 beta now is no surprise at all. So don't
Not
get
at
your
all.
panties in a bunch, kids. This is totally normal stuff.
Yeah. Well, the other thing was WatchOS. Everybody's anxious to get. I know it is an accessibility feature to get the double tap for adjusters on the Apple Watch. So WatchOS 10.1 was released, and I got anxious, and I installed it. Can you believe it?
Oh my God.
It's on this watch right now, but it's still not ready because at least I don't know if you've tried it, Ben. They have not put it in this beta version just yet. But
Well, I
this
don't
version
have a compatible watch.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you don't. So,
So
but yeah,
this wasn't available on day one.
no, it wasn't.
I thought,
as
it was
we talked about
supposed to.
last week, So.
Oh yeah, when I wasn't able to be here
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, that's okay.
Was,
That's fair.
It was talked about that they knew the Watch OS 10.1 was coming. It had come out. Yeah, it was a rumor, and saying that that version is going to be the one that will finally add the double tap to the for gestures and answering the phone like Apple showed. But I installed it and it still doesn't work. So, but we'll see what happens. I'll move on from that. Go ahead.
no, wait. I have a beta comment, believe it or not.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
Where's the real Chuck
What?
Joyner?
Yeah. No, seriously. I do get a little bit burned out on the constant coverage of the betas, because I question, is this just all clickbait or something else to stick in the RSS feed for a lot of these sites?
Yeah.
That said, though, I think it's fantastic that all these betas are coming out, that Apple is working so diligently on all these things, and then exposing whether it's features or fixes or whatever to developers, so they can then take advantage of them or implement them or work around them or whatever they need to do. So as much as I've gained a reputation for, protesting beta discussion, I think it's great that Apple does it for the people that really need it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Couple notable things that are added to this beta is you can now be allowed to do name drop on an Apple Watch. So if you do name drop, it'll go right to the Apple Watch. That wasn't available before. The ringtones and text tones are going to have 20 more available that were added since. In UK, the UK banks balances are going to be in the wallet app. So there are your UK listeners and viewers in the wallet app. It's going to allow you to be able to see your account balances, payments, purchases, and deposits, which is kind of cool. That's not available in the US. Now they say that the dynamic island, the flashlight indicator, is now going to be in there. Strangely enough, I have not updated the phone. I still have. I'm on iOS 17.0.2, And the flashlight, when you
Is-
when you turn it on, is in dynamic island. And I love it because you can tap it to turn it off without having to go back and turn it off.
Oh, okay. I was thinking it was just a little indicator that let you know the flashlight was on, which to me, the flashlight being on would be the indicator.
Which would be this that everybody sees, right?
But if it's more like, hey, here's a little flashlight button that's right up here so that you don't
Yeah.
have to open control center. Okay, that's different and that's cool.
See, right there. As
Okay.
I'm showing it, and you just go tap it, and it goes off.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool.
But
That is nice.
strangely, it is in 17.0.2, so I don't know why we think that it's in 17.1. But stranger things have happened. And then TVOS 17.1's out. Won't talk much about that. In 17.1, they also mentioned that the battery health features that are going to be in all 4 of the iPhone 15 models, which is in the settings app, which allows you to be able to view the battery's cycle count as well as being strictly limiting the charging beyond 80%. Those are 2 of the features that are out there, and they were hoping that it was going to be released to all models, but apparently not. It's only going to be so far on the 15 series.
Mhm.
So that should be out soon. I'm glad to see more availability with the looking at your battery, since I didn't know. We'll talk about the battery and everything on the 15 here in just a minute, but so yeah, that was interesting to see where that was. But we will move on from beta, and let's go on and talk about the iPhone 15. The 15 Pro Max, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I of course have it, and as well as Chuck has it, and I thought the listeners will enjoy hearing. It's been about 6 days since we've both had it, and I like to give our reviews and see what our experiences have been so far. So Chuck, I'll start with you. What's stand out so far for you? Are you happy with what Apple's done from the 14 to the 15? Because obviously it's not a big jump for most people, but
Yeah, Dave, it's a little bit tough at times because we get the new OS and then you get the new phone right on top of it, and so you kind of confuse which are phone features or capabilities and which are new iOS capabilities. That said, I've had a really good experience with this. The migration was seamless. It is noticeably lighter in my pocket.
Mm.
There's no question about it. That and I have a similar case on both the let me try that again. I have a similar case on the new one as I could on as was on the old one. Same manufacturer, same model, and everything. And it is noticeably because I had an occasion to wear dress pants earlier this week to an event,
I'm so sorry.
and and my old phone always felt like it was just weighing down the one pocket where it was, and this one not nearly as much. In fact, I don't
I agree
think
with that.
about it anymore.
Mhm.
So there's that part. It's you always wonder if it's confirmation bias. It feels like it's a little bit faster. It feels a little crisper as far as the interface goes. The camera, I haven't done serious tests with it because we've had rain here all week, but
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to really getting out and seeing what the 5x zoom can do. But the few tests I've done, like out the front door or whatever, have been terrific. I really love the 5x zoom, and I've been surprised at how crisp, even though I'm holding it at 5x zoom, I'm getting good crisp shots.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
Me too.
I have nothing but good things. One thing I will address, and I hope I'm not jumping ahead here on the show notes, but
Not at all.
there have been discussions about some of these getting hot. Mine has gotten warm a couple times, but it also, now that we're toward the end of the first week, I don't feel like it's getting A, as hot, or B, as hot as often. So I think it's probably finished maybe indexing my photos, doing whatever all that maintenance is that has to be done behind the scenes. Give me another couple of weeks and I'll report back on that. But yeah, this has just been it's been a seamless transition. Some of the other things that I'm really enjoying about the new phone are attributable to the new OS. And that's not what you ask about. So we'll leave that alone.
No,
I have a question for both of you, since both of you have Pro Max. How smooth is the transition between the glass on the back and the middle frame? And I'm asking because I've been seeing reports, and I do actually know someone who says that the glass sits a little bit lower on their phone, so they have this really sharp edge on the metal on the back of the phone, where the metal frame and the glass come together, where it should be just like this perfectly smooth transition instead.
I haven't noticed it. How about you, Joe?
No, I mean, to be fair, mine's in the case and it is being used right now as the camera, so I can't look at it. But when I was
It's something you
handling it,
probably would have noticed immediately,
yeah, when I
because
was
people are
hand-
saying it is so obvious and uncomfortable when you pick up the phone and you have this ridiculously sharp edge that you
Wow.
feel.
didn't have that at all.
I have it on camera here. Are you talking about down at the bottom of the phone here?
All the way around the phone.
Hmm.
So
Oh, no, this is nice and smooth. I mean, at
Yeah,
least
so-
my phone is.
don't rub the edges there. Run your do it like this,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is smooth.
and perfect. Yeah, so perfectly smooth right here at that edge.
Right. No issues
Yep.
here.
Okay, so neither of you are having to deal with the with what appears to be a manufacturing issue as opposed to a design issue.
Of course, I've seen these crazy people already doing the drop tests and dropping it from 16 feet, and the YouTubers are back doing that silly stuff again. Of course, the back's going to crack and shatter. Let's see how many times we can
Right.
drop it before it shatters. But the back, the back I think shattered pretty quickly, and then it took a little longer for the glass. But just like I said, of course, you're going to drop it down on the edges or however you drop it. You don't drop it, for crying out loud. So
Yeah, let's drop you on your head and see how many times it takes before you break.
just so you can get 1 million, 2 million viewers on YouTube. So
Before you move on, Dave, just real quick, Jeff. Well, Dave, I know you have a blue phone. I've got the black one.
Right.
Jeff, it might be interesting to have your friend tell you which color they got, whether
Right.
that has
Oh,
anything
yeah, I'll
to do
find
with it
out.
or not. That I can speak for the black. Dave can speak for the blue. We don't see a problem with ours, but
and maybe he has the natural or
Yeah, and I honestly don't know. I'll find out.
so. A couple other things that are notable. I mean, we just talked about a little bit ago is the action button. I really want to jump and explore this even further. I don't know how much you've done so far on it, Chuck, but I love the fact you just go right into settings and go and scroll down, and then you have the choice that says action button. And I mean, I'm showing it on camera here. The animation is just phenomenal. I mean, being able to flip through and choose the type of action you want, as well as shortcuts. You can actually put in here the shortcuts, and I know that I saw somebody that actually set it so it has when you tap it, you could bring a shortcuts menu up at the top, and then when you push the action button to choose things you want. I want to explore that a little further. I haven't yet. I know I've seen on number of other sites have done it. So, but I'm liking the way
That's
that
cool.
how customization is on here. And right now I've kept it the way it's always been, is the silent mode where you can push it to silence it. And then the button's not that bad to push. People were kind of complaining, oh my God, it's not recessed and toggles, which we've been so used to for, 14 prior models. So it isn't a big deal to me. What have you used that action button at all? What do you think, Joe?
I have not. I mean, I will explore at some point the options of doing something with it. I believe it was Federico Viticci today just
I think
put
that
out,
was what.
something with a what was a double tap or multi tap or something, but
Yeah, there's a app someone made, and for all I know, it's Federico, that lets you do multiple taps with the action button instead of having just a single action assigned.
yeah. So I do want to look at that, but my first thing was, okay, how easy is it to tell if it's muted or not muted? And okay, you can't do it by touch anymore, but it's just not that big a deal. So and
see, for me, I
feel
have
like
to disagree with that part, because being able to feel that toggle switch and know the status of the phone, whether it's mute or not, That's something that I use all day, every day.
Um,
And
Yeah, Jeff, I don't disagree with that part, but it feels like this is just one more place that water can't get in, lint can't get in your pocket. You know, it feels like this may be, I guess I don't know, maybe I'm easily adapting to it, because I always enjoyed the fact that I could reach down there and feel it, or like right now I could reach up there and, you know,
Right.
and flip it and know that it's one way or the other. I can't
Right.
do that.
Well,
Yeah.
one thing I'll tell you, Jeff, is it does
Mhm.
have the taptic feedback. You hold it once, and then, I don't know if you see it on the top there, and you hold it twice. It brings you to ring and not ring, and it goes and it really it's got the taptic vibration when you push that button.
so
Um,
it's a specific vibration that lets you know when it's on mute and when it's not.
Right. So when the ringer's on, it's one little vibration, and when the ringer is off, that's two. Goes dut dut dut.
Okay, well, all right. And I didn't know about that. So
Yep.
maybe I should not get on my soapbox about the switch
No,
change until I've had a chance to try it myself.
it's okay.
But I'm pretty sure that because of the way I use my phone, I will never assign anything to the action button. It will always be a mute switch.
Yeah, and you could put the mute switch as one of the shortcuts. I believe there's going to be a way to customize that. Again, I haven't looked at it, so I'm not going to. They'll hold me to that, but that might be availability. The titanium, I think, like we talked about, is the lightness of it. I think it's really well built. I really like the design compared to the. You know, I still have I have the iPhone 14's box. I haven't sent it back yet, but it does feel different. And you put the two
Wow, the
together.
blue is so different on those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this was the purple actually. The old.
Oh,
the
no wonder.
14.
I was going to say
Yeah.
that almost looks purple.
Yeah. So the 14
Yeah.
and the 4 and the 15. I mean, I'm starting now. I feel it. I maybe it's just because we're thinking about the weight of it. The fact that I feel the 14 is a little bit heavier than the 15 is. So I find that to be interesting. The day or two I get to compare before they have to send it back. So the other thing too, which I found to be interesting, we talked about this as we got the feature announcements, is the fact that the 14 Pro Max is the only one that has the Wi-Fi 6E. The Pro has the 6 Wi-Fi 6 standard. Of course, 7's coming. So, I mean, I think most people aren't going to care about this because I think a lot of people don't have a Wi-Fi 6 standard router these days, or they probably have at least 6, but not 6E. But then now that 7's coming, I'm probably going to wait anyway. So, not a big huge deal when it comes to that. But I think I this is something notable. But I do notice that there's improvements in speed with the Wi-Fi, including the fact that the iPhone Pro's 15 Pro's modem has been reportedly about a 24% increase. I have an article in show notes here, and I didn't even think about that. But then I did kind of notice that speeds were tended to be a little more improved when it comes to speed with the modem when you're using on your carrier. And they did say the test showed that they suspected that it might have noticeably better power consumption, the carrier aggregation, and ability to maintain signal at long distances. So there are some improvements there that I've seen when it comes to that. So I think that's cool to see that they've improved upon the cellular the cellular data speed.
Yeah, the X70 is a much improved modem compared to the X60.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, for sure. Briefly, I'll talk about the camera, and I'll talk. Did you have a thought, Chuck?
No, go ahead. I'll take it after you do the camera.
Okay. I'm very impressed with the zoom, and like Chuck said, I haven't had a ton of time to do it. A couple things I noted was the fact that when you tap the zoom, and I'm showing on camera here, and maybe it just popped off, but you got the spin dial here, so you can spin the zoom with the dial, and which I think is kind of cool.
Is that the only way you do the?
No, you could go to 5 and then you just pinch the zoom, but the dial is kind of a neat thing that you can be kind of granular with it. I'm not sure if that's available on the older models. I haven't tried
Oh
it.
yeah,
but-
that's a thing that's been around for a while.
okay.
Mhm.
Well, I had
It's-
just noticed it, but
But
yeah, the 5X is pretty insane. I'm looking at it really close in front of me here, and wow, the detail is just incredible. So, and there'll be more at the times. We'll give some more reviews once we've used the camera for a while and give you reports back. You said, Chuck, you haven't really used the camera much, right?
No, I mean, I really want to test it out in favorable
Yeah, me too.
picture conditions, and the weather has not been such, but what I've
Yeah.
done with it, I've really been impressed.
Yeah,
hey
I'm
Dave,
gonna-
I have a hypothesis
please.
that I want to share. I've known about the dial for Zoom for a long time. You just learned about it. You use your iPhone all the time, and I'm assuming you use Zoom on a regular basis. The fact that this is the first time you're seeing it,
Yeah.
I am now questioning if Apple changed something with the sensitivity or the time needed to bring up that dial so that it's more obvious that it's a feature.
Yeah, I don't know, because I didn't really notice it being that easy to because I'm even using the wide angle and zooming it all the way down to 25x, and my God, 25x is still very clear, which is amazing. So yeah, I wasn't. Yeah, you're right. Wasn't really aware of it. I always would just be used to push whatever zoom choice with button was, and I would just
And then it would just never change. It was
and
just
I would
yeah.
pinch the zoom.
Mhm.
But a lot of those features are still available on all the phones that have iOS that can take iOS 17. Just obviously, you just don't have a 3 or 5x capability.
Yeah.
So, other thing, did you want to add something, Chuck, before I move on to this last topic on the?
Yeah, well, let me just throw in two things, and I think the one may be a transition to your next topic. The first one is this is going to be sacrilege to photographers, and I know that, so please, folks, no emails. We are talking a 5x optical zoom because of some of the trickery Apple's been able to accomplish.
Mhm.
Everyone in the traditional world has always told you stay away from digital zoom, but play with it a little bit, and depending on what your needs are, you can the computational photography in this phone is just amazing, and so you may be able to go out farther, a lot farther, with a digital zoom, excuse me, and still get acceptable results for your purpose. So don't discount that quite as, in fact, don't discount it on a regular camera, but because of the computational photography capabilities, don't discount it here. The biggest challenge you will have when you start getting out beyond 5, 6, maybe 7, is being able to hold it still. And that's going to be with any camera, even an optical, with an optical lens. So I did want to throw that in. But Dave, the one thing neither one of us have touched on, and I think this is the next article here, is that the USB-C transition.
Yep.
It has not been a big deal, mainly because I ordered, I think 5 or 6 cables before I got my phone. And so the biggest trick is just remembering all the places. Because in fact, one of the first shows I did after I got my new phone, I reached up, pulled the lightning cable over, and it's like, why won't this go in? And they're like, oh, that's right, I didn't switch this cable out. Switch the cables out, and just okay. So it's a transition. Suck it up, buy those new cables, put the lightning ones in the drawer for something else, and you're not going to have to worry about it.
Yeah,
No, I
and
agree.
the good news, those cables all already exist.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, literally that port, number one, you have super fast speeds if you're doing photography or videography with that phone. You can use that port to use as a to send directly to an external drive.
Yep.
If you don't have an Apple TV, you can use a HDMI or a USB-C to HDMI cable, control the thing with your wrist, and if you partake in gaming, yeah, you can put it right next to the TV, have your controller on your couch, and you're using your iPhone as a game console.
Yep.
That is a huge win for both productivity and play from previous iPhones.
Yep. No, I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, we have an article in the show notes that goes through a lot of this stuff. The charging and the reverse charging. I charged my Apple Watch a couple times now, plugging it right into the iPhone, and that's such a convenient thing. Same thing with the AirPods Pro. They can be charged too, just by using the cable or using the USB-C on one end. That's what reverse charging will do. And then, like you mentioned, you can connect it directly to an iPad, a Mac, or a PC for that matter, and definitely get some quick connections. Then you mentioned the connection to the TVs as well as audio devices, and there's many other devices. So this port has really become hugely more flexible than it has been in the past because of the limitations of Lightning and the speeds. I mentioned past shows that I bought a 40 gigabit speeds cable and 240. Oh, I think it's 240 watt, if I'm not mistaken. And you can use that for charging as well as data transfer, and you'll get incredibly fast speeds of transferring data. Photographers, professionals like that may want to do that. Just have an external drive plug right into it, or you can, in fact, matter, you can hook it right to your Mac and have them right ready to go on your Mac to start editing. So I think that really kind of stands out. Some improvements here. So. Anything else you guys want to add, or Chuck, do you have any other thoughts on the iPhone?
I'm going to throw one more comment on the cables in, because we all, and I'm the first one to admit that I'm right there. We all get hung up on, we want the fastest charging, we want the fastest data transfer.
Right.
And so we're buying the high level cables, and you may not need any of that. You may just need something that reliably charges it and reliably will transfer data across. So, by all means, what, Ben?
And Apple includes it in the box.
Yeah. And that may be all you need. So, yes, listen to us if you're out there on that edge and or looking for that performance. But if you don't need it, save your money.
No,
Buy a
I
fine
agree.
woven case.
No, I totally agree. Yeah. So, with that, I wanted to do a review. I've got the first set of cases I wanted to review this week. This is from a brand called Catalyst. I'm sure most of us are familiar with the Catalyst brand.
Yeah.
They make some great cases.
Great case maker.
Yeah, they're super great case makers. That I've got the Influence, which is a MagSafe. Comes in various different colors. I have it on camera here. This one is a blue one, which I think looks really nice. Interesting, they do come with a wrist strap, which I have not seen that before on cases. And it's got if you really want to have a wrist strap on your case, I will never use it, but you can put it on. Each corner has an eyelet that you could put it into, so whichever corner you wanted to use it in is fine. It is MagSafe. The one here I'm also showing is the clear one, and you know what? I was using the spec that was the more clear one than this. This is more of the misty color white. Clear, and I don't mind it too much. It is kind of nicely built. It's very rugged. It's rated for 2.5x higher drop protection, and also, and I agree. I had noticed this too. It does have 30% louder sound with a unique unique forward audio in the base of the case. So I did notice that all of a sudden that the sound did seem a little louder than normal. So they really boosted that. And again, it's a fingerprint-free case, which is nice because some of those other cases, I think this material will kind of do it. I'm gonna try a couple other cases and see. This could be my daily driver for this year. So we'll see how it goes.
How it looks. Yeah,
and again, that's on camera. I got the blue and the clear white MagSafe, which is great. Wireless charging compatible, like I said. It does work with screen protectors, so those will fit nicely on there if you use screen protector. It's a great case. It's on pre-order right now. I've got a link in the show notes here. It's about $59.99, so it's a little higher price on a case, but for how rugged it's built, I think it's something worth taking a look at because it's definitely a really nice case. So check that out. We got that link in the show notes, and you can take a look. Any other guys' comments on case?
I haven't seen a Catalyst case that wasn't of the highest quality.
Yeah. So I really think it's something that you definitely would like. And check it out. So,
Yeah.
um,
That said, as far as cases go,
Mhm.
I think ESR is just as good and half the price.
I would tend to agree with that. Expect some more reviews of cases. We'll check them out, and I might even get an ESR case and just to try it and to see, because it is not that terribly expensive, worth the sacrifice of a little cash to try it out and see what kind of result we get from it here. So, and
That's another one of your Pokemons.
yeah,
is
no,
I
I
forgot.
don't have. Well, I do have a few
Gotta
cases.
catch them all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah, instead of having a gym, you have an Apple store.
well, I don't know if
Yeah.
I don't go that far, but
It also, it might be also worth saying of
Mhm.
get a case, folks. I mean, no matter
Yeah.
what it is, get a case and protect your investment. Even if it's just from cosmetic damage, protect your investment.
Yeah, I keep saying the reason I always get maximum what do you call it?
Trade in.
N- thanks, Jeff. Maximum trade value from my iPhones is because I put them in a case and don't
Yeah.
treat them like crap.
well, I mean, I'm just looking at my 14 Pro Max that's about to go away. This thing is a mint. Whoever's going to get this phone is going to be pretty happy. It's almost in mint condition.
Same way. Case and I know a lot of people don't agree with it, but screen protector. Because
Mhm.
when I go to send my old one in, the case
Yeah.
comes off, the screen protector comes off, and like Dave said, it's pristine.
Yep. All right. I wasn't going to do it, but I'm going to do it. I have one more thing.
Mhm.
Okay, Steve.
I decided to get the AirPods Pro USB-C. That's what I'm using right now as I
Of
talk.
course you did.
Yes. So, well, I got some nice perks to reduce the price. So let's put it that way. So, and I'm gonna sell the old one. So I'll come out ahead here. So it's not a big deal. But I'll make a first comment. Again, of course, the USB-C is not a huge deal, and it's not a deal breaker if you already have the a Lightning version of it. But I have to tell you that I've noticed some huge differences in the quality of the sound. I was always having challenges with the crackling all the time and disconnecting and lots of other things. Throughout this show today, and it's been like this the last few times I've used my AirPods Pro 2, the new with USB, they've been flawless. So I don't know what
So,
Apple did, but
just to be clear,
Mhm.
this is comparing AirPods Pro 2 Lightning,
Lightning
to AirPods Pro 2 USB-C.
yes.
Yeah.
You have a sound improvement, audio improvement.
I think this was my personal experience that I finding that the sound is improved.
Wow.
And the navigation is improved. Like I said, you guys see me doing it all the time. That when I'm pushing my AirPods in when I'm on the show, that's what's happening is it's crackling and sometimes it cuts in and out. It hasn't happened once during this show today, and we're near the end of the show here. So, I do see some improvements with the sound as well. I mean, even I've been using it for watching it on the Apple TV and watching shows. Just watched the morning show last night, and it was the sound was great. So not everybody's been saying that in all the reviews, and I don't think anybody's really reviewed them because there's so many people out there that have the Lightning version are probably not as crazy as I am that go and buy another pair. But I'm just I wanted to make sure I did a little brief review of this version. So again, I think I'm got a good experience. So
Honestly, they should have called them the iPod Pro 3. Or
I think so.
AirPod.
I would agree with you that because just based on my experience, that
I think if they had done that, people would have complained because there's not enough of a different. Well, people will complain regardless.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's. I mean, how do you name that product to distinguish it enough from what it's replacing, and set an expectation that it's not that different from what you had before.
Yeah. Oh, no, I mean, if you compare the two, I mean, yeah, I got, of course, at my fingertips here.
Of course.
The two, there's no difference between these two at all. I mean, you look at them and you would never know. I mean, it's kind of like the Apple Watch. You kind of wouldn't even know. I have a Series 9, but if you had my Series 7, I look at it, you have to look at it pretty closely to really know. There's a huge difference with this, but I'm convinced. I could be crazy, but it was my experience that these I've had them since this whole week, so I've been using them. So, but I'm gonna interesting to see. I'm gonna check if anybody else has been saying the same thing, and I guess we can see. We can go from there, right?
It's an interesting choice that Apple makes about keeping some of the designs so consistent across generations, so that you almost can't really tell what the difference is. I mean, the upside is that a lot of stuff remains compatible with it. The downside is that, for the people that are really egotistical and want to say, I've got the latest and greatest, they have to announce it. They can't just display it. I mean, because you remember which watch was it that the only difference was there was a little red band around the crown?
Oh, yeah, that's when they added in the
cellular.
Well, okay, so when you got the red band on the crown, that meant you had the cellular version of the Apple Watch that had the EKG feature built in. The non cellular, so the Wi-Fi only model,
Right.
the face of the crown was red all the way across.
Right.
And they don't do that anymore. Oh.
Yeah.
How funny.
Yeah, so
I didn't even notice.
It's just, exactly. I mean, that's it. So it's just interesting that it's a choice they make. And I think overall it's a good choice because it means that, unlike the cable thing that we just talked about, where, okay, this is a major transition, buy the cables, suck it up and move on. You're not having to do that every time. The iPhones, it seems like we have to get a new case every year, but usually there's a pretty good reason for it. And it may be just a little bit of a redesign with the batteries. I don't know. This one seems to be, am I right about this? Is this one a little thinner or a little thicker? But it's still lighter. So it feels like there's some, it's not quite just random to say, oh, we're going to make a different size case this time around, or a different size phone, excuse me.
Absolutely. Well, there you have it. You got a nice one more thing, and we can I'll go on that note and wrap up for this week. How we do for that here. So with that is a wrap for this week. Please send your comments, questions, and suggestions to our email address, which is feedback@intouchwithios.com. You can follow us on Mastodon, which is In Touch with iOS. Support the show by buying me a coffee at intouchwithios.com/coffee. We would really appreciate it. You can become a patron of the show by going to patreon.com/intouchwithios. We have 2 tiers available to support the show. We would really appreciate it. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe when you are notified, so you're notified when you're watching our live stream on YouTube, which is on Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, on our YouTube channel. Hi, Guy. Good to see you in the chat tonight.
Hi,
YouTube.com/IntouchWithIOS, where you can watch current and past live streams as well as listen to past shows. Visit In Touch with iOS magazine on Flipboard, where many of the topics we discuss are flipped into that magazine. The link is in our show notes. You can subscribe to our show in your favorite podcatcher, including Pocket Casts, Overcast, Apple Podcasts, and many others. But better yet, just go to our website at intouchwithios.com, where all the links to all the ways to listen to us are there. I am Dave Ginsburg. You can find me on Mastodon at DaveG65 on Mastodon Cloud. And Chuck Joyner, thank you again for being here this week. It was always a pleasure to have you. Where can people find you?
MacVoices.com. That's where you'll find everything and everybody I'm talking to. We try to vary the shows a little bit and the topics a little bit to make sure that you get more information, new information. Maybe we even make you think a little bit. What a concept. We do Mac Voices Live Tuesday nights, 8 p.m., 5 p.m., 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, whatever time that is, wherever you are, at youtube.com/Mac Voices TV. These three gentlemen are regulars, and we have a great time. And
We do.
again, we agree, we disagree, we argue, we laugh, and you should be there. That's all I'll tell you.
Yes, absolutely.
Lastly, on pretty much all the socials, even some that you probably haven't even heard of yet, I'm at Chuck Joyner. Thanks for
Yes.
having me 2 weeks in a row, Dave.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you. And Ben Rathick, thank you for being here as always. We really appreciate it. Where can people find you and your Bears logo there?
Yep. I have no shame.
Yeah.
But
No,
you can
no,
find
I
me
have no
at-
shame, and I've got the photos to prove it. Wait,
I
that was
hope
out
not.
loud.
Yeah.
But you can
Actually,
find me.
we still have the photos to prove it.
Okay, that's yeah. I think they're on the internet. I'm sorry, Ben. We keep
Okay.
talking
Yeah,
over
Sorry,
you.
Ben. Yeah.
Where was I? Oh yeah. At Ben Rithig on your social media of choice. Rithig.tech for my writings. On Tuesday nights, you can find me on Mac Voices with Chuck Joyner. Thursday mornings, you can find me on Jeff.
I didn't say
morning,
anything. I didn't say anything.
You did in the chat room. You can find me on the Big Show with Jeff Gamet, and Friday mornings you can find me on the Mac Show, where all four of us plus the show notes will appear.
That's right. Oh gosh. Last but certainly not least, Jeff Gamet. It's always great to have you here. Where can people find you?
It's always great to be here, and I'm still bummed I missed last week, but I'm feeling much better because I'm here with you now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so social media, Jay Gamet on Mastodon and Instagram, and fair warning, Inktober starts on
Oh,
October 1st.
that's right.
So I'll be dropping a sketch out on my social media every single day in October, because I do Inktober every year, and it's a lot of fun. Okay, so then shows. Chuck, you keep letting me come back on Mac Voices Live on Tuesdays, and I'm amazed, yet I also appreciate it. Dave, you keep letting me come back on here In Touch with iOS on Thursdays. Amazed, yet I appreciate it. And then let's see, for the British Tech Network, Thursdays on the Big Show, then Fridays on the Mac Show, and then Brian Chaffin and I record the Context Machine, and then periodically I end up on other shows too. And thanks. It's
Thank
always
you.
so great to hang out.
Yes, it sure is. And thank you. It's always great to hang out with everybody listening. We appreciate it and hope you enjoyed the show. And we'll talk to you again next time. Thank you very much. Very good.
That was fun. That was
Always fun. Always fun.
Mm,
Yeah, that was
Good.
lots of fun.
mm.
Good to see you, Guy, if you're still there.
Yep.
Yeah,
Hope the government doesn't shut down.
Yeah, Guy. Sorry about that. This whole
Thanks.
politics thing is out of control.
Yeah.
Mm.
The only thing I say about politics is I agree with Washington's closing speech.
Which was
Which was, see ya, bitches. And then he walked off the stage.
That's right.
No, he it was about the dangers of factionalism.
yes, I remember reading about that. Yes.
Yes, back when you were a little boy. In 1780
I
something.
was waiting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wait for that
Yeah.
year. Yeah.
Yeah. I knew it was coming. It was just a matter of how far back was he going to give me credit for.
Oh,
I
my
was
God.
just sitting here waiting to see where Ben was going to go with it, because I could tell there was more.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hmm.
All right, everybody. I'm going to say goodbye to the live streams. Bye, everybody in live stream.